From October of 2007 to October 2008, I was in production of, I guess you could call my dream project, The Innocent Saga, which was 10 feature films all at once, and it was a time travel epic. One of the later chapters of the saga jumped into the OK Corral, Tombstone, Arizona, and covered the Wyatt Earp myth a little bit. Before then, I'd always wanted to shoot a Western, but we never really had the budget to be able to get the horses and the locations and all of that. Well, the segment of the saga only contained about half an hour of the Old West, and we did it on a very, very, very small and limited budget. And I think we did it very successfully. So I was able to look back and go, wow, you know, we can do a Western. I had always wanted to do a Western on a historical figure, but all the Wyatt Earps and the Billy the Kids and the Butch Cassidys, they'd all had their story done before. So I wanted to find a historical figure that hadn't been put on the big screen yet. He was one of the most courageous, most honorable lawmen I had ever read about. His story made the epic tales of Wyatt Earp and Pat Garrett just pale in comparison. Over 3,000 arrests in his 30-some-odd years, never hit by a bullet, believed in law and justice so much that he went after his own son. It just, the story almost wrote itself. When the final decision was made to actually go forward with a feature-length Western, the first question that came to mind was who was going to play Bass, and it was one of the quickest questions that was answered on set. I had worked with James House for many, many years. I met him in 2002, 2003 when we were shooting The Night Watchman, and he portrayed a wonderful, powerful character in Robert Marshall.
You can call me your king, your emperor, your president, your Caesar, your whatever, but know one thing, I am not your God, for God shows mercy.
He had worked on several of my other films, including Tag, and a few other parts in The Innocent Saga. Craig Rainey had played a large part in The Innocent Saga of Colin Donovan, who was the bad guy then as well. And it was almost seemed like a natural transition. There was very few actors that I thought could hold their own against House, and Craig was one of those actors.
Yeah, I was actually up for the part of Bob Dozier. I think I made it into the final round as well. It's between me and Craig, but unfortunately the height difference caused him to go with Craig instead, I have to say. Just wait until affirmative action hits Hollywood.
I also needed a good sidekick, a good friend for Bass, and Santiago Villalobos had been working with me for many years as well. So I was familiar with him and what he would be able to bring to the screen. The on-screen chemistry was obvious from the start, and it was a little bit of a risk because they had never really been on screen together at the same time. But I had faith in both Santiago and James, and once they stepped on set, they became best of friends. So we got very, very lucky in that.
After the disappointment of losing the Dozier role, I was then asked to play Bass Reeves' defense attorney in the film. The original script contained a very large segment in a courtroom where Bass was on trial for shooting his trail cook. I memorized my lines, bought some clothes, I even studied my lines. I almost had them all memorized when I got a phone call that all the courtroom stuff was being cut. Totally bummed. But I guess in hindsight they made the right choice. Especially when I found out that they cast Frog as the prosecuting attorney.
All the credit for the on-screen magic definitely goes to Amanda Nunning, who, our executive producer, who took such a small, limited budget and filled it with period costuming, horses, wonderful towns. Amanda was able to perform miracles on screen with the amount of money that we actually had to work with. It was one of the most enjoyable sets that I've ever been on, and I've shot close to 30 different feature-length films. And it was the cast and the crew that made Bass Reeves such an enjoyable shoot for me, and it was the honor and the history of Bass Reeves himself that made it such an important film. There was a lot of people that were involved in making this film what it was, and I thank each and every one of them. And now I hope you will enjoy our film Bass Reeves.